Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to episode number 18 of the Gary and Harry Show, powered by 108.9. Special thank you to the M. Alex Broadcasting Company. We got the VIP of VIP guests in the building today. Ladies and gentlemen, you might recognize this individual formerly known as Mark Owens.
Well, I'm still known as Mark Owens. The name still sits with me. It's on my birth certificate.
Yeah. My man.
Stop. No, go on. You don't have to
Should I say
stop.
formerly known as Mark from the Park?
Or Twang.
Okay.
Mark Twang.
Okay, we'll take that.
Yeah, LA Times said I had a Southern twang when they came out here for the NLCS.
I dig
so I still my Twitter account says Twang for life.
There you go.
So yeah, so I'll take that Southern twang all day. How are y'all?
Good, man. How you doing, man?
Honored
Appreciate you
to be
coming
here.
out.
We've been trying to put this together for a hot minute now.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I'm glad it's finally happening.
You have a schedule. We have a schedule.
Absolutely.
And here we are today. With a special thank you to M. Alex Broadcasting Company and Power 108.9. We got RyanBeasley.com in the building for most of your smell good needs. You got promo code GHS10.
Yes.
RyanBeasley.com.
RyanBeasley.com.
Oh, I like that.
Also got Brittany sitting in the building. What's up, Brittany? How you doing? All right,
I'm
man.
still working on my transitions. I'm learning from you.
It was the awkward pause. It was the
segue.
and good to see you over there. Hi, making the room
Why
look
are you
good.
staring me down?
Well,
Seriously though, thank you for being here.
No, I love being here. This is great.
Phenomenal video that you got to put together with the Battery people. They reached out to you. If you want to speak about that real quick.
Yeah, so when I stepped away from the Braves, 16 years as your Atlanta Braves in-game host, and then I stepped away at the end of the 2022 season, and it was a great run. Like, everyone was like, you know, why did you quit? Why did you quit? And I was like, because it's always been a part-time job, and I love it. And I had the time of my life working for the Braves, but it was a part-time gig. And working, you know, I've been in radio my entire life. I'm with the company now, a marketing firm where I still host radio shows across the country. And those just make for like 15-hour days where, as you know, in broadcasting, you got to stay cranked to 10 all day. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. But I'm not 20 anymore. Like, those days are starting to pull on me a little bit. So, you know, I got the World Series ring. We had that run.
Absolutely.
And I was like, it's been a good run. But most importantly, on top of all of that, my daughter is 10. And me and my wife have been together for 13 years. And I've never had a summer with either one of them. You know, because even with Gretchen, like, we started dating, and all her friends just called me the Braves guy when we first started dating. Caroline has come to plenty of games, but it was always when Dad was working. So I owed it to them to give them back, you know, their summers. So when people say, like, why'd you step away? How could you do that? For the family. And plus, I mean, I'll be honest, for my mental health too, you know, because, you know, y'all know we just wrapped up 9 games in 10 days and 100-degree heat. That pulls on you. I don't care if you're in the best shape of your life, your cardio, you're drinking nothing but water every day, that pulls on you. No, none of these are excuses. Right. I'm just saying, just kind of giving you some insight on people think working in baseball is just all, you know, bells and whistles and confetti moments and those moments. It is. The 4th of July games are amazing. Opening day, postseasons are amazing. What a lot of people don't see are the 9-game homestands. You know, or like, it was weird to say this because I usually made fun of the Marlins for never bringing a crowd. Well, now the Mets were in town. Yeah. They didn't bring a crowd. So they don't see these homestands where there's not a ton of people here, and you're still having to give it everything you have because you love the team and you love your job, but you're burned out. So after 16 years of it, you know, I need to take a step back. Need to spend some more time with my family. I'm just ready to be a fan. I have not drank a beer before a game since 2006. Yeah. I was ready to be a fan. So 18 minutes later, to answer your original question, so when I stepped away, I told the Braves, you know, hey, I'm going to step back. And they were like, hey, we love you. You know, you sure? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Are you sure? I promise I'm good. Are you sure you don't want to stick around? I promise I'm good. But I told the Battery, because I do like the tree lighting and the bash at the Battery. I host all their events. And they said, man, that sucks for the Braves. I mean, you're still doing all of our stuff, but, you know, I get that. So lately what Harrison was mentioning is that we're doing a bunch of videos, social media videos for the Battery social media accounts. And we're doing game day traditions where we had a bunch of fans submit what they do on a game day. And we started videos by saying, you know, I've never been a fan on game day. I would come to work and I'd leave. So what do I do? And we would have been happy had we gotten 20 or 30 responses. We probably got close to 1,500 responses.
Awesome.
And this is all just across social media, and they're trying to build up the page. So what we're doing is we're filming me. Like, we'll just literally find somebody that submitted, do this and this and this. And we're like, that sounds great. And I take their submissions and I run around the Battery and I do what they tell me to do. And most recently, they sent me to Feast. And then we went to Baseballism and I got a hat. Then we went to ASW and I got a drink. Then we went to went to Tap Room and had a drink.
You can call it what you want.
Harrison Tap Room.
That's the goal, man. That's the goal. That's what I'm working so hard for. Everyone's got me saved in the phone. Harrison from Terrapin. Also, surprise video people. This is what I look like without a hat.
Yes.
I'm struggling today. So
we swapped it up today.
Here we are. And in case you've never seen it before, enjoy the light.
So the makeup room was closed tonight, this morning, so we weren't able to dab him with a little bit of powder, so there's a little shine going on
a little
now.
shine popping off right there. That's a beautiful, man. That's an amazing thing that they got you in the Battery doing the game day traditions and things like that. Overall, what do you feel like you miss the most about being on game day every single day? What do you feel like you miss the most?
Harrison.
Thanks. I was like, how do you even answer that? First of all, congratulations on being a full-time father.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
Hashtag girl dad.
There you go. There you go.
It's real.
Girl wrestler.
Girl,
maybe?
oh, dude,
Yeah.
we savage. That's what she calls it.
Yeah.
She'll look at me, my daughter, Caroline, she's 10 years old, excuse me. And she'll be like, Dad, I'll meet you in the bedroom. It's time to savage.
Cutting promos.
That's crazy.
And
That's
she's
awesome.
like, Dad, you can't see me. Let's go. And I mean, it's
Pulling the
amazing.
Cena.
I have not won one match yet. Every single time she pins
Of course
me, she
not.
comes off the top rope. She got me in the figure 4 the other day. That little 10-year-old, yeah, I punched her in the face. Anyway, she'll learn. She's got to learn. She's got to learn.
You gotta learn sometime.
She's got to learn eventually. What do I miss the most? And this is going to sound weird, and I didn't expect this. I miss the staff. And people expect to say, oh, don't you miss the players and how good the team is this season and being on the field and, the excitement around the team and the fans and the sold-out games? Yes, but I miss the staff. And you're with people for 16 years. Yeah. You don't realize you become family. And it's like I always say when I see y'all, we hug, like we're all war buddies.
Yeah.
We were at a game earlier this season, and I saw an usher up in the 300 section. And I didn't know his name. And we've maybe had, in all of our years, 5 conversations. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Oh, man, great game. How's everybody in your section tonight? We saw each other, and we hugged like we were, kindergarten friends.
Yeah.
And it was a real, like, how you doing? I miss you. So that's what really shocked me is how much I miss the people at the Battery and people inside of Truist Park. Because it is a grind. And you're in it together.
The entire time.
When we talk about those long, hot games and everything, you're in it. You're like, you hot? You okay? What you need? And you take care of each other. So that's what I miss.
Okay, because me and you both, you said 16 seasons. We had the same amount of time.
Yes, sir.
Season 16 for me, so we came in at the same time back at Turner Field. And throughout that time, like you're saying, you get so tight with everybody. Even people from upstairs that you don't see that often, or wherever you are just running around, it's definitely that family overall oriented situation where you can't help but get close to everybody.
All right, let me ask you this. What do you love the most about game day?
Oh, man.
Because you're all over the place.
I'm all over the place. For me, game day, just the interaction in general with the people. Now, of course, you get the over-the-top ones, the aggravating ones who want to fuss and fight over any little nitpicking thing, but the ones like the season ticket holders that have seen me since I was 18 years old.
Yeah.
And they still come by my gate and say, hey, how you been and how's everything going? That for me overall, to come back for that, and then every year you see the same people and looking forward to seeing the same people.
Yeah.
And just to piggyback off what you said, just coming back to see the families, which is basically the staff. And of course, we're all baseball fans.
Yeah.
So when we're winning, that's fun. But just being in that interaction, like you said, everybody taking care of each other is just an overall great environment to work in when it comes to that.
Do you find that it's hard to focus on your job and not focus on the game? Because I can't tell you how many times the day after a game, someone would be like, did you see what Acuna did last night? And I'd be like, no, who won? I can tell you who won the tool race, but I didn't see any of the game.
Well, definitely, because I'll see, did you see that hit? Did you see that home run? I'll be like, yeah, I caught bits and pieces of it. You know what I'm saying? I saw this here and there, but not often, because a lot of times we're very busy at Chop House Gate when the game starts. So usually I don't even realize when the game starts until I hear the national anthem or something like that. Then I realize what's going on. But other than that, we're just working and getting the people in.
Yeah.
So overall, yeah, I miss a lot of the game, but I watch, go back home and watch the highlights and get all the alerts to my phone to catch up. But
Yeah.
I keep up with the stats in general with that.
When the fireworks go off, something good
Exactly.
happens.
Got
The roar
us
of
a
the
home
crowd.
run, got us a strikeout,
Yeah.
something like that. I'm in tune when it comes to that. Or I hit a roar of the crowd and I look up real quick and be like, oh, yeah, there it is.
There's nothing better than the roar of a Truist Park crowd.
Man, loaded is insane.
I'm telling you.
And when they get to chopping and twirl those phones out
Light
with the
chop.
lights, oh man.
Ooh, ain't
Now
nothing
they
like it.
start doing that in Terrapin every now and again too. They'll turn the lights off. And,
Do you really?
Yeah.
I'll give credit to, I think it was Alex and Derek, the two lead bartenders.
Yep.
They just real quick, like a scene out of Dumb and Dumber. Hit the lights, quick! And then all of a sudden it just kind of went black. People went with it. They broke out their phones because it's usually around the 7th, 8th inning when it happens. Change out of a pitcher, whatever, and we do it for about 5-10 seconds. But I want people eat in the dark.
Yeah.
So after the lights have been out for a minute, all right, back on now.
Covered in barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
Damn lights
Still
went
waiting
off.
for the phone in there, but they ready to go.
Well, tell me, okay, so inside of Terrapin, because I know a lot of people that won't even go to the game because the battery is such an experience within itself. There are thousands and thousands of fans that just show up to be a part of the experience without having to buy a ticket. Because let's be honest, we'll talk about this later, but like the ticket process to get into a game now has become such high demand. So a lot of people come to Terrapin. So talk me through the scene inside of Terrapin on a game day on these big nights.
It depends on the day of the week and the opponent, of course, because as you said, the Mets didn't bring shit.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
Yeah.
Yankees fans are a little more demanding.
They're aggravating what they are.
Are they?
It just
They're obnoxious.
it's a faster pace up there.
Yeah.
They pay a little bit more for everything. They don't really read. They don't pay attention to certain cues.
It's true. This is very true.
I got a exit sign on my back sometimes when I'm at the front door of Terrapin to make sure who's coming in, who's coming out, to help the Braves get in and out a little bit faster
Yeah.
as well. The AV team, the breakers, everything in between. And then I just got this 400-pound Yankee fan coming through. Oh, excuse me. I was like, exits over there, buddy. It's like a New York City turnstile. Just people pushing you, abusing you, whatever. But it really depends.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
So, 16 years, you've been in and out of baseball for, and let's just say Braves, because I met
5.
you.
5.
Yeah, I met you for the first time here when they opened Truist. Okay, so rank the fan bases from best to worst, because people always ask me who have the best fans, who had the worst fans, and I always have my go-to top 5.
Best to worst?
Yeah.
I mean,
No, let's just go worst. Oh, screw
Yeah,
the best.
best we
Let's just
would
talk about the worst fans in baseball.
the best we would say the Braves, obviously, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the worst top 3, top 5?
Top 3 is fine. Go ahead. You give them yours. I got mine.
I can't stand Red Sox fans.
Yep. They try to outsox each other.
Yes.
Not only that, but it's like
khakis and
yeah. I mean that's a good way to put it.
I'm a bigger
Because-
Sox fan.
I'm watching-
My best friend's brother did Tom Brady's Heat in the Air.
it's like,
Okay, I don't
who
care.
cares?
That's a
All right.
perfect example. My cousin's babysitter's dog walker is at Southie. What?
It doesn't matter.
I'm a righty. I don't know what that
That
means.
doesn't mean anything to me. I
A
have
Western
no-
grip? If you know, you know. After that, I would say Cubs fans.
Yes.
Cubs fans
Amen.
are a little
They
Entitled.
are. Yes, they are.
particular.
Which I still don't get.
Even
I don't get it.
so, they're on my list too for the same reasons. They have this sense of we're the Cubs. Okay, y'all can back down. We're the Cubs. Cubs are here. Cubs, even
Bougie.
before they won a World Series.
That's what I'm saying.
And it's that WGN effect. And I think people think the same thing about the Braves because of the TBS effect.
And that's fine.
But they would just come in,
I was going to
just
blame it on the Rookie of the Year movie, but yeah.
Did that too.
let's play some baseball.
But yeah.
Yeah,
it's-
Cubs
it's-
fan. Now that they won a World Series, now they're even more
went
entitled.
100 years before they got that.
Exactly.
And I'm like, come on, man, y'all relax. I know you got the big field and Wrigley and the Ivy and
It's
all
history.
that.
I get it. Wrigley, but I get it.
Nothing, though.
Yeah.
One. Just
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
in 120 years.
We had to sacrifice a goat to get there.
Like, come on. Like, it's weird. Now, I'm going to throw one in there now.
Okay.
Philly fans get on my nerves.
Yes, sir.
Well, they're for sports though. It's not just baseball.
Oh,
like
yeah, in general.
that's the
That's in
layup.
life.
But they're known as they've booed Santa Claus. They've pegged them with snowballs,
Batteries.
everything in between. So it's like that's just universal across sports. But I absolutely agree.
Because
Yeah.
definitely the Eagles fans are ridiculous when
Yeah.
it comes down to it. Now, then I got to throw in the Yankee fans.
Yeah.
The New York period, we talked about it, but Yankees fans are worse than Mets fans to me. But with the Mets, we get more of the the rivalry, so we can do a little back and forth when it comes to them. But the Yankees that we only see them once a year, and they come down just popping.
we're
And
the
I
Yankees.
tell everybody, I don't care when it is. Since the '90s, don't talk to me about no Yankees.
Yeah.
I don't fool with y'all. I don't like y'all. Y'all don't like us. This is what it is. And when they were here, I gave it to them heavy about the streak and how they've been terrible all season long. I've been loving that part of it.
It's so much fun to watch them collapse.
The Mets, particularly because of the orange and blue. You know how I feel about the Gators, and we'll get into the Untold documentary.
Yes, we will.
But there was a nice father-son couple. They came up. I can't remember if it was Tuesday or Wednesday. They were like, "Table for two, please." And I go, "Mets fans have to sit outside," just without even thinking. And he's like, "Fair enough, fair enough." Very once in a while, you get a very rare, cool one kind of thing.
Is this a fever dream? Because that never happens.
No, right?
Mets fans being nice.
Ever.
No.
Yeah.
I always say that like Phillies fans will fight you, and Mets fans will like spit when they talk.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
and scream at your grandma.
And Philly, but see, the thing about the Phillies is because of that rivalry, it's just
Nationals fans back in the Bryce Harper days, and the
Strasburg,
Strasburg days,
yeah.
shout out to
they
him
were
retiring, by the way.
No, did
He
you see
needed to.
he's going to
He
get
still gets every penny,
until
which
like
is amazing.
2038 or something like
Still
that.
gets every penny.
Millions of dollars.
Bobby Bonilla, basically. That's insane.
But I'll tell you, out of all the
But Bobby
These
is
lump sums though are a little heavy.
Yeah.
the for me personally, and I agree with that entire list, but my number one, hands down, and we don't see him but maybe once a year, Dodgers fans. Hands down, never experienced a more aggressive, rude, intense, stab you in the neck crowd as the Dodgers
I
fans.
will agree with that. They are definitely ridiculous and over the top.
Yep. Like because our perch at Truist is up in 339 over by the Coke corner above left field. And they're not the cheap seats by any means. I mean, there's no cheap seats at Truist Park anymore. But I mean, we're above third base.
Outside of the battery.
Outside the battery.
Sitting in the grass.
And during the NLCS in 21, right beside me, there was these four young ladies, and they were all Dodgers fans, and they were chirping, screaming, cussing, F this, F Braves, F everybody, F. And there was a Braves fan, so they were standing at the top, and there was a Braves family just below them, like literally, the only thing that separated them was a rail. And at one point, after about the fifth inning, this dad turns around, he's got his kids, and he was like, "Hey, you know, cheer and yell, have as much fun as you want, but do you mind just dropping the F-bombs? Like, my kids are here, we're trying to enjoy ourselves." And I swear, I thought she was going to come over the rail and fight him. Yes. Like, I was ready to, like, yeah, just like take your earrings off, take your shoe off, like come over the edge. And I was like, you know, this is a grown woman trying to fight this man for saying, stop cussing at my kid. And this wasn't just an isolated experience.
Right.
I saw this throughout the NLCS. I know people are like, oh, all fans are bad. But I've never experienced such aggression except from Dodgers fans.
As a group.
As a group.
Yeah,
As a group.
I agree with that.
That's why I say,
bad.
what, you'll get stabbed up in the 600s up at Chavez Ravine.
Well, that's Giants fans.
Yeah.
Every day out in the parking lot, there's always
that's
something
right.
between the two of them.
That's right.
I mean, if we're doing that, then I would say the Astros fans, because we all remember what the World Series was, and it's like 29 degrees and rainy every single night. And I'm trying to set up, obviously, the team for success. You were asking about favorite part of the game. It's like, I didn't watch the game. I was busy. The only way I get to watch it is, again, either the tool race or I'm watching highlights at the house. But you could tell by certain timing aspects of it, 7 o'clock on the dot, what used to be Casey, rest in peace, is now at least the new guy this season, right at 7 o'clock. Oh, Braves cut. And I'm like, all right, time to go, switch over the audio, TVs, everything in between. But the Astros, man, during the World Series, it's like...
Were they bad?
It was rainy, it was 29 degrees. I tried to put heaters out for the staff that was working out in the plaza because no one should really have to work in those conditions, let alone here we are trying to sell and make money and stuff. My nurse is next to me. She saved my pinky.
Yeah, no doubt.
But it's the stories.
Hold on, don't gloss over that.
It's the stories.
Is it a Dodgers fan that came and cut your pinky off?
Literally.
No.
So... No, I probably was trying to change a heater out for an Astros fan or whoever because they were sitting on the outside patio and they were being all uppity. The center chamber collapsed. I tried to catch it. It just sliced. Pinky flopped over. It's basically, they won the World Series. I kind of goes, bone and everything. Goes slumped over in the back corner. Ryan grabs my finger and just applies pressure to it. And I'm just kind of like, it's over.
Fading out. Fading out.
It's over.
Fade to black.
Paw, here I come.
It was worth it. but the stories at the same time, like a fan base from the Diamondbacks,
Yeah.
who, how often do you meet a Diamondbacks fan and let alone
that's
remember them kind of thing?
Yeah.
Somebody will come back and it's like, oh, I remember you in 2021. You took care of me and my family.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yep.
good to see you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I don't
I
want to
hit him with the, what's up, man?
buddy,
you know?
not to crap on all the fan bases, I will say on the flip side,
Yeah.
when the Brewers were here for the NLDS, coolest fans ever. Brewers fans were super cool.
I mean, they basically invented alcohol inside their ballpark. So shout out to the other Mark Crouch, who's also a Brewers fan. They're just always very docile
Yes.
and have a couple beers in their system.
Yep.
And it's like, cheese curds? I was like, where did you just pull this out from? He's like, I got some on deck in my pocket.
On deck.
No, I will say they are cool. They're
Yeah.
real chill fan base.
Yeah.
Overall. Now, we're gonna transition. Okay.
All right, talk to me.
Well, one more thing I wanted to ask you. I thought about it earlier. How did the World Series run go from your perspective?
Chaos. Absolute organized
Yeah,
chaos.
thank you. Okay.
Because it had never been done before. And I know everybody's experience was different. From my side, it was a lot of we're learning as we go. And we did not think we were going to be there. We weren't supposed to be there. We didn't even get
Early.
above 500 until August.
We were early.
And then it was like, oh, we took the East. Oh, we won the NLDS. And then I think it really set in for everybody when we beat the Dodgers.
Oh, yeah.
And when it was like, holy crap, we're going to the World Series. And everybody was like, we're a good team, but we're not there yet. We're not going to be in the Dodgers. Like, this is fun. Live it up. And we're like, holy hell, we just beat the Dodgers. We're going to the World Damn Series. This is real now. And it went from the Dodgers are really good to we can beat the Astros.
That's right.
And from our side, it was just because, we had, remember, we were coming off COVID year too.
Yep.
So we were understaffed. The whole ballpark, the whole everything was understaffed. And so we're trying to learn as we go with this brand new property, this brand new footprint, not knowing if we're going to have 2,000 people come out to watch for watch parties. You're going to have 40,000. Turned out it was closer to 40.
40,000.
And so I felt bad for y'all. And I'm going to get y'all's perspective in a second. But like from my side, selfishly, living the dream. Like I will look back at a few moments in my life, my
Always
Braves
remember.
run.
Yeah.
And, one of them was literally standing on second. No, let me back up. The Adam Duvall Grand Slam.
Yeah.
And all of my years with the Braves, never. In 16 years of working, in 45 years of being a fan, and I've seen some great moments. I watched Georgia win the national championship. I saw a Goldberg Penn Hogan at the Georgia Dome.
Yeah.
I've seen some major moments, but never in my life have I heard a stadium shake as much as it did that Halloween night when Adam Duvall hit that grand slam. And we're standing at our perch at 339, and Jesse, my stage manager at the time, we're like, we're about to win the World Series.
Yeah.
We're about at home. And
Shout out to Jesse.
Oh, I love her. And sure enough, we end up losing the game. But there's a part of me that thinks, and y'all can agree or disagree, there's a part of me that thinks that there's some Battery staff and some Truist Park staff that's like, we lost that game. Because had we won the World Series at home, those fans would have burnt the Battery down.
I say that all the time, and we got off because it was insane out
Yeah.
there. If they would have won that game and won at home, it would have went bananas. They'd probably still be tearing shit up.
Yeah,
It was
exactly.
insane.
Like I heard that there were some of the restaurants that were pulling chairs and tables off the patio because they were scared fans were going to start throwing through windows.
Someone right outside of Terrapin did lift up a whole barricade, and I'm like, no.
Let's just put that down. Let's just put that down.
No.
But knowing what we know now, and I'll go back. And then one of my greatest moments was standing on second base with Jesse when they're in Houston and them winning the game right there. And we're literally got dirt on our feet from the infield. About 10,000 people inside the stadium for a watch party, another couple thousand out in the outfield, and just elbowing her, looking up at the big screen, going, "Holy crap, we're about to win!" And so for me, just doesn't get any better than that. But give me your perspective of working that.
So for me, being outside that chop house gate, they weren't ready for those people.
Yeah,
As far as the Battery as a whole, as far as what the police, They weren't ready. So when
And it's
everybody,
nobody's fault. It was just an unknown.
No, not blaming anybody,
Yeah.
but yeah, we just weren't ready for it. And so by the time we're in the third inning, the battery is flooded. It's elbow to elbow. People are all the way up to close to the gate. Like there's people everywhere. The field is flooded. Like for me, you couldn't move anywhere without, excuse me, and that's throughout the entire battery.
Mm-hmm.
And they put up barricades, and people were pushing down the barricades, and they would start pushing the barricades down, and Cobb County's like, well, whatever, I'm not finna grab them. And battery security is like, oh, what we do? Man, just let that go, because nothing you can do about it. It's too many people.
Yeah.
I'm talking about flooded from the red deck all the way down through Wahlburgers, all the way around the backside of Live. There's people everywhere. It was insane.
Did you ever get nervous? Like, because even though it was out of control, they never lost control,
Right.
but they were dangerously close of losing control.
One time.
There
was a suspicious package over by the Brave Steps, and the Cobb County and a couple other people were real swift to move in, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that was the only time, because anybody can think about it, and it's just like you're going to. How many people do you think was on the footprint? 100,000?
I mean, yeah, between the game and
Right?
Yeah.
So you're thinking like worst case scenario, at least I am. But they came in, they checked it out, everything was fine. But it's like if there was ever a time, like you can go back to the Dark Knight movie, stuff like that. If you're one of those people, you're just like, oh God, please don't do it now.
Yeah. But I'll tell you, moving forward, and I'll look. Am I right there? Am I right there? I will tell you this: because I'm not a superstitious person, but I'm a confident son of a gun. When we go back to the World Series this year, there is going to be a plan in place, and it's going to be very smooth this year for the Battery. I can't imagine for you, because I'm 100% guilty of this. When I come to a game on a Tuesday night, and nobody's here, I'm still texting Harrison like, "Hey, you get me in? I need 4 shots and 6 beers and these some taquitos." You know, so I can't imagine on like a night like the World Series. Everybody's your best friend. It's like, hey, Harrison, there's too many people out here. Can I come in?
Oh, yeah.
What was that like for you?
As we were progressing, social media, I don't want to say I'm LeBron, but I basically went dark. And I kept on telling people, don't text me, don't call me. I don't care if you shit your pants. Don't ask me to use the restroom. I can't help you.
Well, you know what? I got excited and I needed to go to the bathroom, Harrison. Thanks for ignoring me.
And even after telling everybody that, there was still, those 1%ers that it's like,
you don't know who I am?
You don't mean me, right?
it's like, back door. I'm like,
But you don't,
no,
but
stop.
me, though? Everybody but me. What about me?
On a previous show, though, I did say some of my favorite World Series stories, and there's those that you'll always remember, and I do hope that we go back again this year, and I hope we win this year, and I know we will be better prepared for it. But, between Ryan playing nurse, between walking around with Harold Reynolds for an hour for no reason.
Yeah, that's dope, too.
He came up the Terrapin elevator, and he's like, I'm looking for the Fox studio, or the Fox set. I was like, I know who you are. I'll show you.
Right.
Completely left work for an hour.
What
just
Harrison
walked around the stadium.
Harrison goes, come on. No, I know you. I'm Harrison.
I said it too earlier. I was like, I don't get starstruck, but when I saw him come off the elevator, it was just like, hey, bud. It was good to see you. And it immediately, with a similar set of teeth to Peter Moylan, Freddie Freeman, and yourself,
paid a lot of money for these.
he puts his hand out. He's like, Harold Reynolds. I was like, yeah, I know who you are.
know exactly
Fox
who you
set, walking around for an hour for no reason with him. Finally, we do a whole lap around the stadium every 5 feet. Someone wants a picture, an autograph. He's like, do you have time for this? In my head, I'm like, no, absolutely not. But, there's always going to be stories.
Do you ever fanboy? Like, because in the industry that we have worked in for so long, and I've been in radio for a long time, and then with the Braves, I am blessed. I don't fanboy much.
Yeah.
Every now and then I'll see a player. Like, to me, everyone asks the same. You probably get this too. Everyone would say, "Oh, do you hang out with the players? Oh, are you friends with the players during rain delays? Do you go down there and hang out in the clubhouse?" I'm like, no, they're all 25-year-old millionaires. I'm 45 and my back hurts.
Yeah.
Like, we have zero
Nothing in common. Nothing at all.
So, but like the only player that even to this day that I still fanboy out, and we were at the game earlier this week, and he was in the Truist Club, is Brian McCann. Because I was a catcher growing up, so I respected him. And take away whatever the Astros things, I don't care. I don't care because I got so much respect for him.
Oh, yeah.
And I did a lot of work with his Raleigh Foundation charity, which is raises money for childhood cancer research. So I've just got so much respect for him. And even to this day, and I've had 400 conversations with him. Even to this day, I pull a Harrison and I go, "Hey, CJ, Brian."
What's up, Brian?
Okay.
Hey, buddy. How are you?
All right.
You want to be friends?
Yeah. You got a new
Keeps
line
denying
on you
my
now.
friend's request, though. I don't know why.
Well, Brian McCann, since you just got mentioned, we'd love to have you as the next one for Terrapin because my idea has always been it's a McCann of beer. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
you got an eye roll over there, and you got us pretty damn good
That's
over
pretty
here.
good. That's pretty good. Well, who else did y'all just have? You just had Pete, right?
Yeah, Pete's went very well. I was proud of that
It's
one.
like 14% or 9%.
9.3. It's a Belgian triple made with his honey off of his farm. It's a beautiful smooth beer, but again 9.3. When we asked him what kind of beer do you want to make, hopefully I can say this. He was like, I want to knock their dicks in the dirt. And it's like, all right, Peter. Yeah, I'm on fire today. I told you.
So swear y'all going crazy today.
Love it, dude. FCC's.
I'll Venmo, Cash App later. No, it went really well. Mike, if you can hear me, you took some awesome pictures. We do appreciate you being a part of Media Row over there. The Braves were in attendance. Bowers was in attendance. I gave it everything I got. I ran it by you the day before, and you're like, don't change shit. Just make sure it comes from a place of love.
Yeah.
So sure enough, but everything went well. Piping in the music.
Is that the wrap up? Are we done?
No, about
No, no,
halftime.
no.
About halftime.
I was about to
That
say,
was a
damn,
quick-
that was quick.
I know,
Hour,
right?
Is that the wrap it up box?
Well, we had.
Wrap it up. buddy.
Better wrap that gavel up, B.
Up.
We had to get it off our chest 18-minute opening, so we appreciate you for that, Mark. But no, seriously, we're going to come back from halftime, pay some bills, do a little more commercial shout-outs for mykarmacreations.com, everything in between. But thanks for joining us for the first half of episode number 18. Rich joined us in the building. Brittany, thank you for being here. RyanBeasley.com for most of your smell good needs, and we'll be back for the second half of episode number 18.
Right back.
And you are listening to Power 108.9.
Power 108.9. We are back for the second half. Special thank you to the M. Alex Broadcasting Company and Power 108.9. This is episode number 18, the second half. One more time. Special thank you to Mark Owens for being here today.
Yes,
We got Rich in the building, Brittany, RyanBeasley.com for most of your smell good needs. Shout out to mykarmacreations.com. We had a little Tumblr going with her. You can get your promo code, hopefully still GHS15, mykarmacreations.com. That's karma with a K. as well as Digestive Healthcare of Georgia.
Yep.
I think I said it last time and nobody really said anything about it. So
Good.
don't be a nut. Let them look at your butt.
Absolutely.
Colorectal cancer is one of the leading cancer killers in the United States.
I have a question.
Please get your script.
Yes.
You said for most of your smell good needs.
Yes, because she corrected me the first time when I was, trying to give my all in promoing,
Sure.
and she was like, "I don't have everything." I'm like,
Right.
Like we have to have some parameters.
Parameters.
All of the smell good, I can't.
Right.
I can't
Do you just focus like neck up? Smell good?
Well, it's more like home. Aroma.
Oh, for your home. I thought you meant like for your body.
How confusing that is?
Yeah. Okay. For
my
okay,
mind's
for your,
telling
for
me
your,
no.
For your home smell good
body-
needs.
Sorry.
Right. I get you. Because
Yeah.
do you do like
somebody?
do you do like an Axe body spray for 45-year-olds?
That's very specific.
And very sad and lame. You can say it.
But I do have beard oil that you might like.
What would that smell like, though? An Axe body spray for a 45-year-old?
New Balance shoes.
Yeah.
New Balance shoes.
The
Khaki shorts
dad
below the
shoes,
knees.
The dad shoes.
That's right.
Lighter fluid.
There you go.
But the Walmart brand. It's
Right?
not even the. Sorry. Anyway. Sorry.
You're good. You're good. Okay, so we're gonna take this transition. We have our show. We kind of do it usually at the beginning. We were focusing, catching up with you. So now we're gonna go to get it off our chest segment.
Okay.
Which is just things that we think of, or if you got something on your chest, on your mind. But one thing I wanted to come out with, we did Candy Wars last show. Okay.
Okay.
Let's go Cereal Wars. Favorite cereal.
Oh, it's done.
Give me something. What you got? Go ahead, Mark. What you got? Favorite cereal.
Fruity damn Pebbles for
Fruity
the
Pebbles?
win. For the win.
Not a Pebbles fan.
Oh
man.
my, what?
They last for 2 seconds.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not a Pebbles fan.
Rice Krispies.
This
All
is,
you need.
yeah.
I'll
I'm
take the
not
Rice
sitting there
Krispies over
trying
that.
to enjoy it pinky out and gonna be here and savoring every.
Listen.
It's breakfast. And guess what? Furthermore, I will put them Fruity Pebbles in a cup. Do it because it's so much more convenient to eat cereal out of a cup.
That's fine.
Mike, if you want to start making your way over, since you gave us your. Thank you. Sorry. You helped us out with the Candy Wars last time, but if you want to make it over for cereal, we'd love to hear what you got.
Yes. Oh, I want to hear what he's saying. Mr.
I'm,
Jelly Bean man back there. I want to hear what he got on this cereal thing.
I'm going with obviously Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
He popped up for that one.
What happened?
He popped up for that one. I said
What'd I
Jelly
say?
Bean man.
Mine looks like a Raisin Bran.
Captain
Crunch?
no, because
Captain Crunch?
it cuts the top of your
He
mouth.
tells me you gotta
But
know. You
if
gotta know what you're doing. You gotta be a vet to eat Captain
You can
Crunch.
let it
I
sit
don't
there
care.
for a minute and save.
15,
That was
19
pretty
seconds.
specific.
15 to 19
to
seconds.
19. 20 seconds, too
Too
soggy.
much. It's too soggy at that point.
19 seconds is where we get.
Now, what did you say you had?
Cinnamon Toast Crunch for me,
Okay.
or before I found out that I was lactose, obviously Apple Jacks.
I'm solid.
Apple Jacks is classic. I
Yeah.
will give you
Only
that.
for the pink milk aspect of it.
Oh, yeah.
I get it.
But I, as you know, like a high schooler, I'm eating like a gallon bowl, or just a gallon worth of milk,
Jethro bowl.
and the whole box worth of cereal from Costco, nonetheless. So it's like a 5-pound box.
Yeah.
But
You realize growing up that, like, Cookie Crisp, like, hey,
Yeah.
it's 8 a.m. You're heading into 5th grade. Here's a big ass bowl of cookies.
Well, what
Yeah,
riding-
and we're gonna try to mask this as it's healthy and good for you.
Riding
It
on
ain't
the-
healthy. It ain't good for you.
Riding on the sugar.
I know,
Sugar
right?
high straight up. Now, I'm gonna tell you, you can call me old. People just say what they want. This is why I say golden.
who's that?
Girl.
Betty White?
For
Golden
me,
Girls. My fault.
I'm a Frosted Flakes man myself. I'm
Basic.
Classic.
Yeah, give me
Yeah.
Tony on the box and we good to go.
If I'm gonna feel like I'm eating healthy, it ain't healthy. Apple cinnamon Cheerios.
Okay.
Apple cinnamon.
I'm glad you didn't say
If I go-
Koshki
We're just gonna
Golden.
hang out and have some breakfast. We're just gonna eat some breakfast.
Well, at this point, if I go Cheerios, got to be Honey Nut for me.
Honey Nut's classic.
I gotta go Honey Nut. I can
is
do that
classic.
dry.
Is it
or
still
in the
good for your
bowl.
heart, or was that
That's what they still say on the commercial.
the more you eat, the more you fart?
That's what they say.
No, those are you having
Beans?
Bush's baked beans for breakfast?
Right.
What are you having over
Now,
there?
also, don't forget about my Fruit Loops.
For Loop Solid,
All day long.
still a game changer.
What else? What'd you call me the other day when I started? You said I was old for picking all the ones I picked.
Straight and wheat, no sugar.
No, I'm not. No.
All right,
Is that
Grandpa.
high fiber?
What,
Now,
you
one
get
thing I
some
will
Jell-O
do-
at the nursing home.
Glass
One thing
of
I will
prune
do
juice.
that I have to add sugar to is Rice Krispies. I'll do them over some Pebbles.
Yeah,
Give me some Rice Krispies and let me put my own sugar.
Rice
that sugar
Krispies
sit at the
are
bottom
only
of the
for
bowl.
one thing, and that's to make treats.
Nah, dog. That sugar at the bottom of the bowl. You
And then-
start
and-
scooping it with the last
Yeah.
little bit. Come on, man.
But if that spoon stands up,
Oh, that's
you
too
gonna
much.
maybe a little too much sugar in
Way
there.
too much in
You
that
remember
case.
Kicks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had those as a kid. Okay, Grape Nuts. Anybody remember Grape Nuts?
Yeah.
My mom,
Small.
little Pebbles.
Yeah.
They're essentially
Not
Pebbles.
grape or nuts.
No,
No,
neither
they're
one.
not.
Little things
What they
like-
should have called
Yes.
is we crack a crown.
Man.
Yes, exactly.
My mom would take
Dentists.
grape nuts, put them in a pan with a little bit of milk and butter and cinnamon on top of it, and heat it up like an oatmeal almost.
Yeah, I can see that.
I've told people that, and they all look at me like
That might be good.
it was solid.
Sounds pretty
It
decent.
would soften up. It wouldn't break a crown. It would still crack it, but it
Now, if we
was.
still on like the breakfast bowl thing, was y'all cool with oatmeal and cream of wheat and all that kind of stuff?
I'm too lazy.
Oatmeal if I was sick.
Yeah.
If I was sick. Like, I'm not waking up thinking about a bowl of cinnamon oatmeal or something.
No,
you
me
know?
neither. It was one of those things. Oatmeal is nostalgic for me. Like, I feel like I'm back in the days sitting at camp or sitting at school as 5, 6 years old. That kind of feeling is what it gives me.
And the little peaches and cream and
Yeah,
blueberries and cream.
there you go.
Yeah, we used to do the old school packets back in the day.
That's-
100%.
that's
Shout out to
exactly-
112, peaches and cream.
My daughter loved remember the dinosaur eggs oatmeal?
Uh-huh.
She would get so excited because it was just a piece of candy
Yeah.
inside. But there was like 3 or 4 packets that had one dinosaur egg. And at the time, she's like 6 years old. And like she's literally having like a rage. Like a fit, like, this is unacceptable. There are no dinosaur eggs. I'm like,
You gotta
honey,
relax.
calm down. You all
gotta
right?
relax.
Give me the box.
Is this like a glimpse to the future right
You
here?
gotta relax.
Like we can get you some damn Fruit Loops or something. You say the word. Anyway, Fruity Pebbles or Honey Nut Cheerios. Thank you.
Nobody said Cocoa Puffs?
No, you know what? Now that was Cocoa Puffs was my jam back
Reese's
in the day.
Puffs, Cocoa
Cocoa
Puffs.
Puffs. And Cocoa Puffs started.
Obviously,
Get
yeah.
that chocolate
Chocolate
milk
milk.
popping.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
Chocolate milk.
man. Get that chocolate milk popping at the end. That's the best part right there. I used to watching Saved by the Bell, watching my music
Lucky
videos, waiting on the bus.
That's
it.
again, that's what oatmeal is for. Though oatmeal is like when you're recovering, you're at home sick, you're watching Price is Right, then SVU, Law and Order, maybe some Judge Judy, and then you pass out in the afternoon.
Right. And then corn pops. I like corn because it would get all soggy on you real fast.
Yeah, corn pops were. If somebody handed them to me, like
Right.
if we were at school, the little buckets, the little little cover, I'd do that if that last option.
Oh, a little square box.
Yeah.
Rip it open. Yeah.
Nothing is better if you're staying in a hotel like a Marriott or something. And they got the little breakfast,
Oh, yeah.
continental, and you walk downstairs and you see the little spinny of like 8 different cereals. I'm like,
Throwback time.
Yeah, all right, let's go.
Ooh-wee, let's see
And then
what
you
I'm
make
gonna
like
do
a
today.
suicide version of cereals.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of everything on top of it. It's like Fruity Pebbles, and then I'll do like one little thing like Raisin Bran on top because I'm being healthy.
Look, don't hand me no Raisin Bran,
Who's
okay?
passed out by the waffle maker?
Please
A little
don't,
stream of Fruity Pebbles. going down this-
please don't give
It's
me
been a
Raisin
good
Bran.
run.
I don't like raisins as it is. Please keep the Raisin Bran away from me.
2 scoops?
and honey bunches of oats and all that. I'm good.
Did you see that there was a study came out that said that Kellogg's got in all this trouble because they're like 2 scoops of raisins? It was not 2 scoops.
Oh, what?
I
False
know.
advertising?
They were lying to us.
Well, did they say how big the scoops were?
You know, they did not. That's a great point. But it was only like
Where are
70
you, Rich? They lost the case. They needed your help.
Cereal police. Law and Order new. They're running out of ideas. Law and Order CP.
What's the hit the sound?
Tum tum.
Yes, sir. Okay, so after that, let's go transition. I also thought about this too. What the favorite growing up cartoon was, since we were on the cereal kick.
Oh God.
You know, just if you were sitting there with a bowl
This is
of
going to
cereal.
replace highly recommend.
You're right, it's close to
Right.
it. We're gonna get to highly recommend though in just a second. For me,
We got a lot of different eras in here, too. So
that's what I'm saying. You
Old
gotta,
answer.
you gotta give me something. For me, I was classic with the Looney
Cartoons.
Tune era.
Cartoons.
I was big on Bugs and the Crew, especially when they started branching out and doing like different movies and different Space Jams and all that. I was big on the Looney Tune Crew, but I was a Nickelodeon guy growing up. As far as like the Rugrats and all that, I'm from that era. I was big on that, big time. Dexter's Lab, all them boys.
Dee Dee, you idiot.
So stupid.
See, that was before my time. Like
So give me some.
I grew up without cable. Like this was before. I mean, we had like I'm sure we had like Nickelodeon, but still, to me, it was getting up on Saturday morning at 7 a.m.
Saturday morning
on
cartoons.
on ABC or CBS or I don't even know what channel. I think I just automatically went to channel 2, and we had like Muppet Babies, and then followed by like Heathcliff,
Okay.
and
Yep.
then it was like Garfield. And
Yeah,
that was
Bill
my,
Murray,
and then
shout out to
Pee Wee's
Bill Murray.
Playhouse. It would wrap it up
Oh,
in the mornings.
Pee-wee.
Yeah, so those were my Saturday. Like I didn't grow up in like the Hey Arnold or Dexter's Lab or like those days were before me. But man,
But that's why I wanted to ask, see what you
Yeah,
coming with.
yeah. I mean, Muppet Babies was my jam back in the day because we didn't have a ton of options.
I was down with the Muppets.
Yeah, dude, they were solid.
They were
It
cool.
was fun.
What you got for me?
Definitely Sesame Street and the Muppets, and then I guess Nickelodeon came around. I was never into the Disney stuff, but
That's on the back end. It's on the
Yeah.
back end.
cartoons, man. I was like, I think I watch more cartoons now than I do as a kid. Like, I don't know if Archer counts, Family Guy, you know, stuff like
adult
that.
cartoons.
Adult, yeah.
Adult cartoons. you know what I'm saying?
What about you? Where's your cartoons?
So I did all Looney Tunes. I did all the Hanna-Barbera stuff.
Yep.
If I had two ones that I love, was Transformers and Thundercats.
Man, Thundercats, Thundercats. Oh!
Did anybody ever watch Mask?
Oh yeah, Max
Yes.
was awesome.
Yes.
Cars.
Mask,
And the
yes.
theme song was
On
great.
point.
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay. Crusaders working overtime, fighting crime.
Beautiful, thank you.
Secret. I don't know, man. It was
And then they had a
When you start talking like DuckTales and
Cops.
yeah.
it was
The
one more I'm thinking of.
C.O.
Yeah, the one guy, the lead had the black guy. He had the chest.
Oh,
open up or
Darkwing
something
Duck.
like that.
Darkwing Duck.
Yeah.
Darkwing. What's my other
You're
one?
gonna see me down a wormhole today.
It's
It's
one
gonna
more I'm
happen.
thinking
Tailspin.
Tailspin. Yep, that was a good one. Captain Planet.
Captain Planet
Yeah,
is
he's
my
a
hero.
Gonna take
Reduce
pollution
pollution
down to zero. Yeah, that
What
was
is
a
it?
jam.
Look up Don Cheadle.
Captain Planet. Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
what?
Looting and polluting is not
heard
the
about
way. Sorry.
Oh, we got to keep that around.
What did Mike have? Mike, what did you have?
He ain't watch no cartoon. He was thugging.
Mike's gonna jump and be like, I was watching NPR as a
He ain't
kid.
watch, he ain't watch
Y'all a
no,
bunch of idiots in
no
there.
cartoons.
I didn't watch cartoons. I was reading the newspaper. Like
out,
an
here,
adult.
out here in these streets at 7.
7 a.m.
Rock.
I had 4
I
jobs
knew I was
at
hustling.
9 years old.
I was hustling. I knew this one was coming. I was out here.
I was in the streets working, smoking a pipe. I was raising 6 kids at the age of 10. To be asking me questions. Watching cartoons.
Woodpecker,
Okay.
Tom and Jerry.
Fair,
Yep.
yeah.
And I'm gonna take you back. It was a show on PBS. It was called 321
Contact,
Contact.
yeah.
Electric Company. That was-
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
Classic.
10, 11, 12.
Classic.
And you can see the pinball rolling.
That's
Yep.
good, man. That's classic
So-
I don't
stuff.
remember that, do you?
Obviously, Dave Chappelle's special when he was screaming like, "Hey baby, get off this corner!" That was Mike in DC.
Yeah. I'm selling weed.
I got Tupac DVDs and Rolexes.
I got a family to feed.
Go home, baby.
It's not safe for you out here. All right, man. Well, that
Where are
was
you
fun.
taking me?
That's what I love that part of the segment. I got to keep bringing back the wars and stuff. I got to figure out more.
That's a
more
good
of
What
that
was the
from
candy
that.
war? Who won? Like, what was the general consensus?
Well, it was more of a.
Most people were riding with Snickers and Reese's, and then it started to deviate. Mike has a very specific list for his Jelly Bellies because he's a big fan.
Jelly bean man.
Jelly
That's why
beans.
I called him that earlier. The
Jelly bean man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the flavors? It was like pear and cotton candy and cinnamon.
No.
Yeah, that was
Is that
your
what
three?
this?
That was your 3. Cherry. Yeah, pear. Yeah, that's very specific.
Mike, wait, Mike. He's so funny. He's like,
Yeah.
he's like,
The elevator.
he jumps back up and down. Hey, while you're down there, can we get some coffee? Hey, there he is. Mike, black jelly beans, yes or no? Licorice jelly beans, yes or no?
No.
Thank my man.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
not
we,
gonna say yes. I'm just start flipping tables.
my
Absolutely
dad
not.
loves black licorice and all the other. It's disgusting. But
do it.
Mike was so proud of it, he brought his bag in and he was looking for Brittany over at the gate. And I soon finally saw her because we were both passing back and forth. And I was like, Mike's looking for you, and he's got like a bag of jelly beans for you.
You
Some-
were hurt, dog.
If somebody doesn't
He
know
said he
y'all
was hurt.
and they hear that,
Mm-hmm.
hey man, Mike got a bag of jelly beans for you. All right, cool man. Meet me over by the back gate. Cool. He's got different ways to take that.
He's got a
Absolutely.
bag of magic beans.
All right, sorry.
But
sorry.
no, it was fun though for the candy wars. But
Mm-hmm.
a lot of, like you said, a lot of people with the Snickers and the Reese's, the classics and stuff. But then somebody said Swedish Fish. I'm like, you're a savage. You're a weird person. You like Swedish
You wo-
Fish?
You woke up and
Swedish Fish?
chose violence
Like,
with
come
those
on,
Swedish
Swedish
fish.
fish. They get stuck in your teeth.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird, man. Let's transition before we got here to Mike's favorite segment of a very loved segment that we have called I Highly Recommend.
Highly recommend.
It's always time for I Highly Recommend because we always come with some bangers. Now, I'm going to go first because I have been catching up and have caught up on a lot of the untold stories. Okay, we're gonna transition you, let you get that off your chest too, and about the whole Florida Gator untold situation. But we'll get there. But I did
Waste of my time.
I did watch the Jake Paul. I did watch. Oscar De La Hoya has a new documentary out.
I was really hoping you were gonna say Pistorius.
He's got enough.
Too soon?
Yeah. I was watching The American Gladiator. I got to film on the last episode of that.
Is that good?
It is, man. It's intense, man.
Okay.
They went through that, man. American Gladiator. That was a wild time, man. That was off the chain the way they were doing stuff with them gladiators. It was crazy.
They're trying to hurt people.
No, like for real. Like, it was
The
crazy.
set was trying to hurt people.
Yeah.
The set was trying to hurt people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and they were using it to their advantage.
Yeah, they were. And then what was the other one that we talked about? I just watched it too. Outside of Jake Paul, what's the other one?
Hall of Shame?
No, Johnny Football.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the Manziel one.
Yeah.
That nut. Yeah, man.
Good. Somebody, I read somebody put on Twitter and they were like reviewing all of them. They said these documentaries lately have been less about the ins and outs of the program, but more of a PR piece for, like you were saying, like for like Urban Meyer or for like Johnny Manziel or for like Logan Paul. Is it a deep look into them, or is it they're not really bad guys?
No, it's a fluff piece.
No,
Yeah, are they?
it's fluff. But at the same time, you could feel like Johnny Football. You see how he ended up how he did.
Yeah.
As far as when you get the backstory of what he was doing. Instead of being focused on football, he was just out here, man. You kind of knew already, but it gives you a look of what he was actually up to. Now, I'm going to kick it to you let you, breathe a little fire about that Swamp Boys or what they called it? Ain't that what they called it? The Florida Gator one?
Yeah.
Swamp Boys?
I gotta watch my mouth on this one. All right.
Why? You haven't yet.
Well, in that case, you call them shit lizards. But no,
That's
it was.
guys filling up.
It sucks, man. Like, it was clearly a fluff piece for Urban. They left out like all the gritty details that you actually wanted to hear about. Zero mention of Aaron Hernandez. Zero mention of Chris Rainey, Carlos Dunlap, all the arrests and stuff. Like, it went from
There's the swear jar.
recruiting. Yeah, I'll put a 50 spot in there. It went from like episode 1 recruiting Tebow to showing his freshman year of replacing Leak to obviously the ride through, and then all of a sudden Urban Meyer's heart palpitations and stuff. But they didn't get it into any of the specifics. It was just like, well, this is a little thing to make somebody look good.
So was the relationship between Urban and Tebow, did they touch on that at all? Because like Urban will always say like, oh, he's like a son to me, he's great. And then Tebow, look, I'm a Georgia Bulldog. I'm a diehard Bulldog fan. And I hated Tim Tebow.
Absolutely.
I hated him because he would whoop our butt every single year. But his second chapter, I've got nothing but respect for Tim Tebow because there's nothing he said that he wants to do that he hasn't done. He said, I want to go on TV, and he's on SEC Network. I want to play football. He played in the NFL. You can argue how successful he was, but he played in a playoff game nonetheless. I always said
Let's
that
not talk about that one.
he played in minor league baseball. Like, he got to play baseball. I say if Tim Tebow picked up a lacrosse stick and said, I want to play, he'll be on a team tomorrow. So as much as I hate him as a Florida Gator, I got nothing but respect for the human being that is Tim Tebow.
I will agree and say that regardless of his religious beliefs and what you have heard about him in the past, he could probably do whatever he wants. He could be a WWE wrestler and he'd still be good. Yeah. He could be good at anything. Did they? I now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think that there was a scene where Urban and Tebow were together through the filming of it.
No. They were in different places.
They showed at the very end Tebow with Brandon James and Brandon Spikes and a couple other people. But no, now that I'm thinking back on it, I don't think they showed them together at all. And everyone at that time just kept on hearing about he's my second son and I love him and blah, blah, blah. But if you want to waste your time, feel free to check out.
You want to waste your time. Yeah. So everybody's saying FSU is going to be a contender this year. I mean, AP.
We ready, baby?
Everybody say, I mean, they're top
ready.
10, top
Opening
8.
in Orlando Sunday
it.
night, September 3rd against LSU once again. We had the block off last year to start the season, and I was wooing like Ric Flair in sports, and I grabbed the microphone, and everybody in sports. I've never seen more purple and yellow, and I'm not even talking about Lakers fans.
He's the only person I called that day. I'm the only person I called
I
that
am
night.
screaming at the top of my lungs, and we're going to run it back because it's a very senior-heavy team between Jordan Travis and Jared Verse and Johnny Wilson. We're ready to go.
Yeah.
Alex, we are not going to be disclosing who we are going to be targeting in fantasy football, sir.
Are y'all in a league together?
Yes, we are.
Well played, son. Well
We'll
played.
be drafting next week.
Well, if everyone remembers the famous fantasy football commercial, both Mannings retired and kickers are going fast.
Basically.
like a
TJ
little preview?
Hushmanzada.
Hushmazud.
Hajimazili.
But that will be. Are we still going to be shooting? Are we going to shoot that day?
Yeah, Mike, we'll talk offline about next Wednesday, August 30th.
Every year
But
I get asked to be in like 5 fantasy football leagues, and every year I turn down 5 fantasy football leagues. I'm lazy.
I'm in 5 every year.
I just set it up to auto draft, auto pick. There was one year I was in the league with my boys in the neighborhood because I'm lazy. And they
So
were
do you
like-
want to join our league?
Just I went ahead and gave them the money at the beginning and said, I'm not. They reached out and they're like, dude, you might want to update your roster. One of your players has been on the injured list for about 3 weeks now. And I'm like, that's just. But I can recognize that, and I say no. That's why.
But
I don't
next
do
year,
it.
see, you definitely wouldn't ask you the next year. 'Cause
Yeah, they
that's
didn't.
just unacceptable.
Yeah,
You
they
can't do
didn't.
that kind of
They
stuff.
didn't.
But like you said, August 30th for the draft next week. We might be on, which is also my birthday.
Hey,
So it'd be a
Happy
good-
early birthday to this guy.
Be a good day overall. You know what I'm saying? So we'll be looking forward to that, Alex. And no, you do not get any insight. So on top of that, like I said, the
Trey
finish-
Lance, pick him as your quarterback.
There you go. Go get Trey Lance. That's crazy, by the way.
Yeah, right.
Trey Lance to the Cowboys. That's insane for a 4th round pick after everything they gave up for him.
do you see that NBC came out and they were like, if we could air every single Cowboys game, we would. Like if they were, I think the story goes that NBC was like, hey, if we only had one team that we could air all season, it would be the Cowboys.
That's gross. I'm glad they don't have a choice on that. That's disgusting. Why would you do that? Waste
Speaking of NBC,
airwaves?
we got some Notre Dame football today. College
Is that-
football's back today.
Oh, yeah, that's
they're playing in
right.
Ireland.
Yeah, they have.
Notre Dame and Navy.
Yes, correct. Good job.
That's right.
This
That's
afternoon.
hey man, it's officially back. Football
Week
in
0.
the
Let's
air.
go.
Florida State is in Ireland next year against
Tech? No.
Georgia Tech.
Is it Tech?
Yeah.
That's gonna be interesting.
That'll be
Shout out to Terry. Terry really wants to go. Got to make that happen.
Go.
Terry's the only Georgia Tech person that I've ever met in my life.
I got a couple of Georgia Tech fans in the fam, but they still, they're salty overall.
I wonder why.
They're salty overall. With that being said, we're getting close towards the end here. Now, I want to bring up I was talking about the Oscar De La Hoya documentary.
Golden Boy.
Yes, and that's what it is called, The Golden Boy. And shout out to him as far as Golden Boy Productions and everything like that. But his story is very deep, man. It's on HBO. It's 2 episodes of it. I knew how great he was as a boxer. And as far as his numbers, 11 world titles in 6 different weight classes, like, that's insane. There's not many people that can say that. But it's a deep story. You see what happened to Oscar and all the PR stuff that went on with him as far as, the taking pictures and sheer and mesh and all that kind of stuff. It's a very good documentary if you're interested in that as far as boxing and things
Okay.
like that. Now, I'm going to ask y'all a question before we get out of here when it comes to boxing in itself from the Jake Paul story and all that kind of stuff when I watched that. How do you feel about boxing as a sport as far as what is it doing right now? Do you think it's going to make a comeback? Do you think it's still dying off? How do you feel about that?
Now, I'm not the right person to ask because I'm not a fan, only because I grew up in the Mike Tyson days. I grew up in the Evander Holyfield days where you had these larger than life characters. Now I feel like as a below average fan of boxing, I feel like there's 15 different titles. I don't know what goes with what weight class. There's no names right now that I recognize. I'll give UFC they've done a good job of building up their program. And so at least I recognize some of the names. I just don't know who should I fight? Who's fun? Who's great? Who's the big badass right now? The the next big thing in boxing. I feel like there's no heavyweights anymore. I feel like he's the heavyweight champion and he's 215 pounds. You know what I mean? It's like I just miss the
glory days.
The
of
glory
boxing.
days
Yeah.
of boxing, which is fine. There's more money to be made now. There's more opportunities for boxers out there. But I just grew up in a different era.
Yeah. What about you? You feel anything about boxing?
I mean, I'll definitely watch it if there's, like a big name fight going on.
I'm a big
But
Terrence Crawford fan myself.
shout out to Bud.
Yeah.
If you watch the Jake Paul one, Tyson was in there and he literally said that these YouTube boxers are basically the only thing that's going to save the sport because of their following and how many people they have behind them, that regardless if they're good or not, they're at least getting eyes and exposure on the sport once again.
Yeah.
It was basically dying off, especially when you had a decade run of the heavyweight champion, Vitaly Klitschko. Everyone remembers him, but after that, it's like, who's going to be carrying the torch?
Right.
Tyson Fury has retired. His little brother Tommy Fury is doing it now.
Those are like some of the last names that I remember.
But
now
that's
that you say it,
the
yeah.
thing. It's like it's not as prominent, obviously, as it used to be.
Yeah.
But if you have somebody like Tyson saying like I'm still watching it, I'm still interested, I'm still invested, it's going to take time. The former UFC promoter that was like Dana White's right hand man, if you watch the Jake Paul documentary, is now Jake Paul's manager, and he's like pumping into boxing and stuff.
Yeah.
There's definitely money out there, and they're still getting paid ridiculous amounts. But it's just that name recognition. You got to. How do you build up your stars?
I
Yeah.
agree.
Somebody just hit the box, the wrap it up box.
We're getting to that point now. We want to thank you, man, for coming in, Mr. Mark Owens. And
So where do I get paid?
At the window. At the window.
see the cashier on your way out.
An invoice or something? Okay,
Yeah,
that's fine.
absolutely.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
cool. Thank you.
But-
Honored to be here. Thank you.
No,
guys.
thank you.
I'm glad we
Seriously.
finally made this
Yeah.
happen. Anytime. This is
Anytime
awesome.
we get a chance to have
awesome.
you back, man, we'll love to have you back.
100%.
Shout out to Rich in the building, Britt, Ryan, my brother. Take us home.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, this was episode number 18. Special thank you to the M. Alex Broadcasting Company and Power 108.9. Mark Owens, our VIP in the building with Rich, Brittany, and RyanBeasley.com for most of your smell good needs. Promo code GHS10. Rainy, everybody for chiming in. We do appreciate you. Alex, I hope you finish last in fantasy. Appreciate you, buddy. Please show up for our draft on Wednesday. My brother, happy early birthday. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're legal now. We've done 18.
That's it. 18
Episode
episodes.
number 19 coming up soon. But Mike,